News coverage right now at 5 o'clock. The video showing it. Tornadoes appearing in the skies over southern Indiana at about 2 o'clock this afternoon east of Louisville along the Ohio River. One man, Chancey May, recording this, describing it as a small funnel cloud and debris crossing the Ohio River at Madison, Indiana, followed by heavy rain and golf ball size hail.
We are also hearing reports of damage to homes, barns, and road closures. These photos from Indiana State Police show the damage in a neighborhood in Jefferson County, Indiana. We do have reporters covering the powerful storms that did miss Louisville this afternoon. It is important to note the threat for storms is not over. Christina San Juan is going to be tracking out some of the nighttime storms in just a couple of minutes. But first, our team coverage of that reported tornado tonight. In
fact, we're just getting word of a confirmed tornado in Kentucky. We'll have that in just a second. Connor Steffen's in Hanover, Indiana tonight. But first, Taylor Woods in Milton, Kentucky, where a local business was damaged. Debris left all over the parking lot. And Taylor, you've been there for a couple hours now. How large do you think the damage is where you're located in Milton?
Doug and Shay, the damage is significant. Right now, I'm standing right in front of a home. Take a look. This blue shield right here was actually protecting this gray Jeep that you see, and it was blown just feet away into the yard. The owner tells me she was just over here in a crawl space hiding for protection. She took over this home just 2 years ago when her mother died. But right now you can see tree limbs and debris is left all over the yard. And take a look at this tree right here. It has been significantly hit and split in half. But if you take a look to the right, you can see a line of cars as the city is just coming together to support one another as they clean up. And if you take a look, this isn't the only spot hit. Other businesses have been completely hit, roofs completely blown away, and we'll be back again at 5:30 to give you another update. Reporting live in Milton, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 on your side.
Taylor, thank you. Our team coverage continues here at 5 in Madison, Indiana, where eyewitnesses say the tornadoes varied in size but were big and strong enough to damage homes and flatten some garages. We also have coverage from both Kentucky and Indiana.
WHAS 11's Connor Steffen and photojournalist Addie Hill have been driving throughout the area. They are in Hanover tonight with a live update. Connor, what are you seeing there?
Shay, I can tell you it's been a team effort here in Hanover. Just take a look. The local manager of a Lowe's here bringing 60 of these cases of water along with trash bags to help with the cleanup. And the cleanup has been diligent. Take a look. You're seeing this in a lot of yards right now in this residential area hit by the tornado. Just piling up all the debris from yards. And that's kind of been what we're seeing with this cleanup process. And we want to even pan over to this house here in the distance. This is probably one of the more hard-hit homes. It's the home of 85-year-old Bill Wagner. He spoke with us and told us what he felt and saw as that tornado hit his home.
I heard the noise first, the train, then I just ducked down on the floor, and then I felt all that insulation falling on me, and it was blowing unbelievable.
Is that what's on your sweater?
Yeah, I couldn't see, I had to dig my way out of it because there's 2 feet of it in there.
Now, Bill tells us he's not sure if he's going to rebuild his home or what's next for it. In his words, it was a total loss. On the other side, his neighbor you can see working on his home. And then if you turn the corner to the other side, you can see that they were working on cutting down some fallen trees in the area. And like we said, a diligent effort for cleanup. You're seeing a lot of these piles of debris starting to come together in this neighborhood. We're going to keep monitoring the situation out here in Hanover, but for now we're live. Connor Steffen, WHAS 11 on your side.
Thank you, Connor. So how big were these tornadoes? Moments before we went on at 5, the National Weather Service confirmed the size of at least one of them.
Let's get right now to Christina San Juan to tell us more about what we saw this afternoon.
Yeah, guys, at this point, the survey team with the National Weather Service Louisville office is in Milton, Kentucky as we speak, and they're surveying the damage, and that's how they assess just how strong the tornado was. And at this point, they just came out and said that they have found evidence of at least an EF1 tornado that passed through hours ago. We'll continue, of course, to keep you updated and give you the official word as soon as we know it. And as we look off to our east, that's the exact storm that produced a tornado earlier around Madison and Milton, or Madison, Indiana, and Milton, Kentucky earlier today. And in fact, it's still severe thunderstorm warm, so that has been a very strong cell that's been passing through off to the east. We can enjoy some quiet time for at least a few more hours, but do not keep your guard down because we are going to be in for our second wave of potential severe thunderstorms as we head into late tonight. I'd say about 10 o'clock this evening, we'll start to have those storms pushing in across southern Indiana and then continuing to kind of just fill in across the entire area as we head into about midnight. That's when I expect to see some storms around the Louisville metro, and then it'll continue to work on off to the southeast by about 2 o'clock in the morning to you folks there in Campbellsville. Largely on out of here, though, by 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, coming up here in just about 15 minutes, Doug and Shay, I'll tell you more about what specific impacts and threats you can expect with this next wave.
Okay, as Christina said, not over yet. Good reminder about what's ahead tonight. Again, Metro Louisville missed the first round this afternoon, but we do have more storms forecast for later tonight, as you just heard. So stay alert with WHAS 11 News by downloading the free WHAS 11 app. If you happen to lose your power, you can keep watching WHAS 11 News.
Now to more local news right here at 5 o'clock. Gun violence and reform debated on the Senate Judiciary floor today as the Senate committee heard arguments for House Bill 5, also known as the Safer Kentucky Act.
This act lays out new provisions to react to violent crime, like making a carjacking a Class B felony. It allows Kentucky State Police to destroy guns used in violent crimes. Here in Louisville, you can see the increase over the years using Metro Police data. We mapped out homicide and non-fatal shootings for the last 6 years. 2018 was the lowest at just 318 incidents, but you can see the spike during 2021, where more than 722 violent cases were reported. Over the past 2 years, the numbers have dropped. The Safer Kentucky Act toughens punishments for crimes using guns, which attorney Rodney Bowling says could help domestic violence victims.
A chronic victim who has been forced to face their accuser in court is seeing the parole board within 12 to 18 months after that trial, and it never gives a chance for healing, and it never gives a chance for public safety.
The bill makes penalties more severe for drug dealers who sell to someone who then overdoses, and it changed the way charitable bail projects can work, making it illegal to post more than $5,000 for a person. One section of the bill is still getting some pushback. That section would make it illegal to camp on public property. Louisville's Coalition for the Homeless testified, saying the bill addresses homelessness issues but makes no meaningful changes. 8th grader from Louisville's Francis of Assisi School spoke to lawmakers about that.
It will help us to resist the temptation of casting off the vulnerable. It will stop us from believing that we have solved a problem when instead we have made the victims invisible.
The Safer Kentucky Act passing the committee and now heading to the full Kentucky Senate.
Now to news from Bardstown today. The special prosecutor on the Crystal Rogers case wants to try all 3 defendants together in one trial, now adding to an already high pile of motions set to be heard 1 week from today. Shane Young filed that motion today, asking to consolidate the cases for Brooks Houck, Joseph Lawson, and Steve Lawson. Houck is charged with complicity to murder and complicity to tampering with physical evidence. The Lawsons are charged with conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with physical evidence. In the motion, Young accuses the men of working together to kill Crystal Rogers and then disposing of the evidence to conceal it. Young plans to present the motion during a hearing March 21st, when Houck and the Lawsons are all expected back in court.
More local news. A shooting overnight now turning into a triple homicide after Louisville Metro Police revealed that the woman killed was pregnant. At about 11 o'clock last night, officers headed to St. Louis Avenue in the Park Hill neighborhood. A man and a woman were found shot to death in a car there. Both were taken to the hospital, but both died from their injuries. The police department says the woman was pregnant, so they're now considering the shooting a triple homicide. If you know anything that can help detectives, the number to call is 574-LMPD.
And Louisville police are investigating after 3 pedestrian deaths in the last 24 hours. 2 of those pedestrians were hit and killed this morning. The first happened on Clark Memorial Bridge right around 6:20. Investigators say they believe an elderly woman was walking on the road right there on the bridge when she was hit by a car. She did die there at the scene. That did cause some traffic delays where one lane was open while officials cleared the scene. Now all of those lanes are back open.
And another one here today happening at about 7 a.m. A man was hit on I-64 at I-65. Police say he was actually up on the roadway. in traffic when he was hit by a vehicle. He was pronounced dead on the scene. The ramps from I-64 east to I-65 north were closed, but it's now all clear. And authorities did say that all of the parties involved in both crashes remained at the scene. The LMPD traffic unit is investigating both collisions.
Financing a new nonprofit to create universal pre-K across Metro Louisville is Mayor Craig Greenberg's on his list as he looks to fulfill a campaign promise. At this moment, Thrive by 5 Louisville doesn't have a plan for funding, but the mayor says he's requested help from the government and private investors. This is just phase 1 of his 3-step plan to get the ball rolling on the project and includes funding from private and non-private preschools. To join his effort, phase 2 is to develop grants and launch financial assistance to all families with a household income of less than 300% of the federal poverty level. Phase 3 would expand within the entire program. Our Jose Alonso reached out to Metro Council today and an early childhood education program to talk about joining the effort.
Mayor Craig Greenberg said in his announcement that he's going to be asking for financial assistance through his next budget proposal to Metro Council, leading me to ask some council members if the mayor has their support. Chair of the Council Budget Committee, Rick Blackwell, says it didn't surprise him that Mayor Greenberg would look into funding this program with his next budget proposal. He's hopeful to see more details of the plan so he and other council members can discuss how much funding should be allowed. As an educator himself, Blackwell says the need for families to have access to quality child care needs to be addressed.
I mean, I think it's huge. I think it's huge on a lot of levels. I think it's huge for the individual student. I mean, we know that the data is very clear that having students ready for kindergarten sets them up for success.
Greenberg's budget proposal is expected to be submitted by the end of April. The mayor is also looking to get state, federal, and private support to assist in this major investment. In Louisville, Jose Alonso, WHAS11 on your side.
We also asked the Republican caucus for their thoughts on the proposal. Councilman Jeff Hudson said, quote, "I share the mayor's focus on supporting opportunities to spread the availability of child care and lessening the costs. But I'm also concerned that this proposal will be creating an entirely new function for government that will be facing budget challenges in the coming years."